Recently, new members were inducted into the Basketball Hall of Fame, like Ray Allen, Steve Nash, Grant Hill, Maurice Cheeks, Jason Kidd, and a few others that nobody gives a fuck about. While these are all great players and deserved members of the Hall, there are a lot more players that are worthy of this honor but haven't been inducted despite being eligible for a relatively long time. And today, we're going to look at 5 of those players. Robert Horry, or Big Shot Rob, is probably the best role player of all time. He pretty much did everything at a very good level. His best season was the 94-95 season when he played on the Houston Rockets and he put up 12, 4 and 6. Now Horry's chance of getting to the Hall isn't because of his stats, but because of his championships. He has 7 championships in 7 final appearances. His case is very comparable to players in those Boston teams in the 50s and 60s that only have 7 or 8 championships on their resume but are inducted into the Hall of Fame, like Frank Ramsey for example. And in the 50s and 60s there was much less competition and winning championships was easier compared to when Robert Horry played. He also was a huge factor in pretty much all of his championships, which is incredible clutch play. Here is the list of all of the most of the clutch plays that Robert Horry has made in his career, and you can see that he was a pretty big factor in winning those championships. Chris Webber in his 15-year career had averages of 21 points, 4 assists, 10 rebounds, 1.5 steals, 1.5 blocks, and a PER of 21 while shooting 48% from the field. He also has 5 All-NBA selections as well as 5 All-Star appearances, and was a big part of those great Kings teams in the early 2000s. Unfortunately, because of knee injuries, he was never able to reach his full potential and was forced to retire at 35 years old. His case is similar to players like Tom Gola, a small forward for the Philadelphia Warriors back in the 60s. He has 5 All-Star games and 1 All-NBA selection to his resume. He also has a championship. Chris doesn't have a championship, but he has 5 All-NBA selections, which I think weight more than 1 championship by a role player. Ben Wallace was a defensive superstar and possibly the best defender of all time. He was a 4-time Defensive Player of the Year, 5-time All-NBA, 4-time All-Star, 6-time All-Defensive Selection, and a champion with the Detroit Pistons in 2004. He did all of this while being undrafted. If you would look at his career stats, they look pretty mediocre. 6 points, 1 assist, 9.5 rebounds, 1 steal, 2 blocks. His best days came with the Detroit Pistons. In his first stint there, he averaged 8 points, 2 assists, 13 rebounds, 1.5 steal, 3 blocks, and his career is very comparable to Dikembe Mutombo. Mutombo has 4 more All-Star appearances, but has 2 less All-NBA selections, and he doesn't have a championship. And he is in the Hall, deservedly so. But why isn't Ben, despite being eligible for the last 3 years? Shawn Kemp, before his weight and drug problems, was a borderline superstar. He was one of the best dunkers in the 90s and one of the best of all time. Like before the weight and drug problems, in his first 11 seasons, he averaged 17 points, 9.5 rebounds, 1 steal, 1.5 blocks on 50% field goal shooting. He was a 6-time All-Star and had 3 All-NBA selections. His career is very similar to Vince Carter, another all-time great dunker, who according to Basketball Reference has a 94.5% chance of getting to the Hall, while Shawn Kemp has 38.4%. While Vince Carter was a better scorer and 3-point shooter, he only has 2 All-Star appearances more, and he has 1 All-NBA selection less than Shawn. Shawn also has one of the most iconic plays in NBA history.
Left side, works on Artem into the baseline. Slapped away from behind, Ricky goes back to get it. Fires across court, Kemp's got it right up into the alley. Power shot! Tomahawk jam! Yeah, baby! Into Lister's face, and the Sonics take the lead.
Sidney Moncrief is the only guard that has won the Defensive Player of the Year award 2 times. He was a 5-time All-Star, had 5 All-NBA selections, and 5 All-Defensive NBA selections. During the 5-year period when he won all of his accolades, he averaged 21 points, 6 rebounds, 4.5 assists on 50% field goal shooting. He also never missed the playoffs in his 10-year career, and he led the Milwaukee Bucks to the third best winning percentage in the NBA in the 80s, behind the Lakers and Celtics. Unfortunately, because of his knee injuries, he wasn't able to rack up more accolades, but in my opinion, the things that he did for his short career more than enough warrant a place in the Hall of Fame. Now, these players might make it to the Hall of Fame sometime in the future. In fact, they probably will. But the fact that they aren't in the Hall right now is not a good thing. That's not a good thing for me. Thank you all very much for watching. Make sure to like if you enjoyed and subscribe if you want to see more videos like this.